what are some things going into your chat with Trump that you didn't expect and somehow surprise you, whether it be on the personal level, anything that he said, an anecdote, anything that you could share that would make us say, wow, I didn't know that about Trump.
I'll just give a single example and really frame it more as a question than rather Trump's answer. Here's why. I wanted to surprise Trump in the interview. I wanted to let people see the tumblers falling inside of Trump's brain while he processes something that he hasn't really quite heard. So he hears certain type of stock questions, and as you might expect, since he gives interviews, he's got stock answers that are kind of ready-made. So I say to Trump this. I said, in fact, I almost started the interview this way. I said, you've been repeatedly accused of calling for an insurrection. I said, as far as I can see, you didn't actually do that. You didn't ask people to go in the Capitol. You didn't ask them to take over the place. You didn't ask them to stop the counting. You didn't do that. I said, but guess what? Had you called for an insurrection on January 6th, there probably would have been one. And I said, and there probably will be one today if you were to call for one today. In other words, are you aware that you have that kind of power? And how does that make you feel? Now, that's the kind of question where I could see Trump, in a sense, taking
Yeah.
stock of that, because I don't think it quite heard it put that way. He recognized that it was true. But he also recognized that he was in a bit of a minefield, because really what I was saying to him, to put it slightly differently and put it in the context of the Lincoln problem I said before, is I was sort of saying to him, you know what? You're not a dictator. You didn't govern as a dictator, but you do have some of those larger than life dimensions of a Caesar. I can kind of see why the left always accuses you of being that, because you are a larger than life figure. If there's a room with 500 people, and the typical Republican enters the room, nobody's heads turn. He's just one of the crowd. But if Trump walks in the room, there's an immediate electricity. And I've seen it happen more than once. By the way, it happened with Reagan. Trump is not unique in this regard, but not many people have that magnetic quality where the whole room turns simultaneously. And Trump's answer becomes very interesting, because he's now forced to consider, do I have those dimensions? Do I want that kind of power? What would I do with it if I had it? So the engagement becomes very interesting, because Trump is thinking on his feet.